Joining us now is Chris Doyle. He's Director of the Council for Arab-British Understanding and joins us now from London. What do you make of this attempt at coalition building, Chris? Can it work?
Well, it's a huge moment in Israeli politics. To remind you that Benjamin Netanyahu has been prime minister since 2009. So if Yair Lapid pulls off these talks right now in the next couple of hours, it will be the end of Israel's longest-serving prime minister in office. And so that is an extraordinary in itself. But also, just look at the bedfellows here that we are looking at. We've got Naftali Bennett, one of the more extreme right-wing settler champion politicians within Israel. And he only got, just over 6% of the vote, and he's likely to become prime minister. Imagine that. I mean, where else in the world would such a low voting percentage get you into office? And then you shift over to the far side and you've got Palestinian parties that are representing Palestinian citizens of Israel, also possibly going to be in this coalition. So it's an extraordinary concoction, really. And the one thing that they agree about is that they do not really want to see another election and Benjamin Netanyahu as the head of the coalition. Now, Netanyahu himself, he's a very, very smart and experienced operator. He is doing absolutely everything right now to prevent the formation of this coalition. Because, of course, for him, it's not just his political future that is on the line. It's also his own freedom, because if out of office, he will be going to court and he may be facing the long arm of the law. And this would be, of course, for somebody who has been in power for so long, a humiliation and a shame for him personally. So he's using every trick in his long and well-thumbed playbook. But, is this going to change anything? And you asked earlier on, is such a coalition going to survive? I think it's going to be extremely difficult. They will have those two things that will unite them. But on every other issue, from justice to education to the economy to the issue of how to handle a Palestinian file, there are massive differences. They are by no means political bedfellows at all.
And of course, we are just days since the most recent conflict between the Israelis and Palestinians in Gaza. One would have thought that resolution of that, or trying to ameliorate the damage caused by that, will challenge any Israeli administration, and certainly one with this kind of peculiar rainbow collection of politicians.
It will do, but I would remind you that in many ways that peace has returned to Israel for Israeli citizens, and they are no longer facing the rockets and mortars coming out of Gaza. But for Palestinians, who are facing, for example, huge numbers of arrests that are going on now in occupied East Jerusalem and elsewhere in the West Bank, it is not calm and it's not de-escalation. But I'm not sure that there is an Israeli government that's going to come into being, whatever sort of coalition. It really has got the vision or the clarity or the mandate, frankly, to really deal with this issue. So the contours of this coalition will be such that they will not be able to put forward some radical new agenda that would have even a chance of taking the issue with the Palestinians into a new horizon. So I don't think we're going to see much on that. They also, of course, these delicate negotiations that are very important for Israel going on in Vienna on the issue of the Iranian nuclear file. So to have this uncertainty in Israeli politics right now is not ideal for them at all, because they will want to influence that. And these are all the sorts of messages that Benjamin Netanyahu is going to be trying to push, particularly to Naftali Bennett. And Naftali Bennett's number two, Ayelet Shaked, appears to be the one that he's most focused upon, trying to get her to reject this change coalition, this anti-Bibi coalition that is being put together in the last few hours.
Chris Doyle, thank you very much indeed for your time.